It has arrived. Today is the day. This is National Nut Month. Welcome everyone. October's National Nut Month, and the Iowa Nut Growers Association is going nuts with all sorts of great events and outreach opportunities so you can learn more about nut growing in Iowa. Good morning and happy National Nut Month. Jeff Jensen here with the Iowa Nut Growers Association, and I'm super excited to get National Nut Month kicked off right. We're here at Indian Hills Community College at the Nut Research Site. This is a joint project by the Indian Hills Community College School and then Iowa Nut Growers Association. And as you can see behind me here, we have all sorts of great nut trees, from black walnuts and chestnuts to hickories, pecans, hazelnuts, and more. We're going to be taking a look at the orchard, doing a tour this morning, so stay tuned. A special thanks to the Wayne County Soil and Water Conservation District for bringing the people mover that we've named the Chestnut Express. What a fantastic way to cruise the orchard in style. Our first stop is the Persimmon patch, where some grafted persimmon are producing like gangbusters. And we have all sorts of great fruit. Ripe. We have some fallen to the ground, so that means they're ripe. Seems to be a nice heavy crop again this year. That's persimmon.
And so we're starting to see persimmon drop to the ground. If anybody wants to hop off here and buy one, and maybe we can bring some over, I highly recommend you get one that's ripe.
Now, if I pick them up and bring them to you, I'm not responsible if they're not good.
They are very good. If you've never eaten a persimmon, I always they have sort of a citrus flavor to them. And if if you want one off the tree, you want to take the one that almost falls off in your hand when you go to grab it. Okay, that's usually a pretty good indicator that they're ripe. I have a student that says that grandma claims that these things predict the weather for winter too. So if you get a big seed, save that thing. You can cut it open later, and if you see a spoon, there's lots of snow coming. Is that the right spoon? Is snow, and a fork is nice weather, and a knife is ice and cold wind. So
I think we got snow coming anyway.
We've seen 4 spoons and a knife so far. So doesn't look good.
What a treat. Next up is a visit to the chestnuts. Ooh, would you look at this chestnut? Absolutely loaded. Do I dare? Yep, they're prickly. Hi. These chestnuts here look unique. Instead of being round burrs, they almost have like a heart-shaped or a teardrop maybe shaped burr. Oh, there's one up there almost ready to open. Just starting to open up and peek out. Well, hello there, little guy. You're looking to escape the burr. The timing is right, so we have some chestnut burrs here that have opened up already. Oh boy, this is exciting. So let's see what we can find with some of these chestnuts on the ground. Well, we found this chestnut on the ground, and so I used my boot to pop open that burr. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Look at the size of that chestnut. So maybe the reason that they look like that is there's a single nut in every one of them. We're going to investigate this one.
So I have a question in to Tom Wall about this particular tree. Jeff pointed this out earlier. These burrs are not typically shaped. They have a very, I think our best maybe characteristic or comparison is that they kind of are shaped like strawberries.
Yeah.
They also, the ones we've opened up so far only have a single nut. Most chestnut have 3.
I think we figured it out, John,
Oh,
actually.
you got the answer for us?
Probably more than likely it takes 2 trees to pollinate. So the pollinator being wind driven is too far away, so not everything gets pollinated.
That would make sense. That would change the shape certainly, and also
Bigger nuts then
explain
too.
where we're not getting as good a
Will that
nut
give you
set.
1 nut?
Now this had 2 nuts in it. Great big nuts. It is quite the sight to see so many chestnut burrs on these trees. I can't believe it. I know that Merrick and Bryden did a foliar application this spring. Let's learn more about that.
It's hard to find somebody to give you a good formula on anything to do like that. We have a sprayer where it blows the spray throughout the canopy, and we'll show you that. It's a little better process. But this year what we did, I think we mixed up like 50 gallons. And what we used was this Coron product, and I'm not going to advocate for any product. Like I say, this is just what we had available to us. We got, and we thought we'd try it and see what we got. And we didn't do a real scientific study or anything like that. We just kind of went out there and we thought it might help, and we timed it perfectly. So, but what we used is it was a micro pack, and so it's some boron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc, 10%, and then along with some nitrogen here that had a little additional boron too. We mixed that up to 50 gallons, just kind of traveled up and down the road. The leaves were just about probably an inch long on a lot of them. So they just opened up and green, and I think it was May 20th. It had to be real close to the end. Probably around, May 15th, somewhere in there is when it happened. You know, and the years it vary on what the status of it was, but this year it happened to be about, I think, somewhere right around May 18th, 15th, 18th or something.
Billy did it for walnuts specifically, and he theorized that it would be beneficial for any tree.
We did it.
We do the whole orchard, and so we spray everything, and I think it probably does help. I think
Now, we don't do it religiously every year. We just happen to, a lot of times, the timing, you know, if it works, we mix it up. We did it this year, and I think, you know, we probably saw some pretty good results this year.
The next stop on our tour of the nut research site is the pecan patch, where we have some really nice looking trees. Well, that pecan's just about ready to pop out.
We brought in video just by luck. So they know what they're doing, and they obviously done really well with that.
Well, and these are fallen, and we're lucky if we catch these because the deer usually eat them as soon as they hit the ground. So, but we're seeing some today that probably just dropped. And I ate some the other day, but you need to let them dry. But so I let them dry for just a day or two, and then cracked them and ate them, and they were pretty good.
Are they rubbery otherwise?
No, well, they're real astringent.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, look at that.
It's awesome.
Here, Jeff, you need it.
I'll eat it.
I'm gonna have to eat it.
It's scary that day. When they come back up, it's like, oh my god. We had shade, you know.
Yeah, that takes I didn't get a very good crack.
That's all right.
These
So
trees are rooted.
here we go.
Was that 5
Here's the
5 or
pecans.
so years ago, and they're close to 10 maybe.
Right, close to 10.
Close to 10 years ago, we probably did
Yeah,
drafts.
kind of astringent.
Yeah. Yep.
Let it dry. Man.
Yeah, so this is our draft union on this particular tree, which is a lot more distinct than some of our other pecans. Obviously, got together really, really well, and producing some really good sized trees too.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, look at those.
Oh, wow. Nice pecans. And we can't forget about the black walnuts, which appear to have heavy crops this year.
Over from that, we have some black walnuts that are that are really putting on a lot of nuts this year. When we came this spring, one of the things that Billy does with his black walnuts is he sprays a nitrogen and zinc foliar application in the spring, and he always said to spray that when the leaf is about the size of a mouse's ear. That's the time to do that. And we sprayed this spring, and we think it really made a boost to the trees this year. Billy claimed on his orchard, if you've ever been down there on the Sheridan River bottom, that he could get a heavy crop every year if he sprayed. And the zinc is kind of the big helper in that, because they just can't pull enough zinc out of the soil typically to get heavy nut set every year. But when you spray it on foliar application, you do.
Before we wrap up part 1 of the Southern Iowa Nut Tour, I want to share something really special with you. When nut growers get their first nut, it is a milestone of sorts. And this English walnut, one of only 2 survivors of a planting done about 10 years ago, finally produced nuts this year. Like parents of Honor Society students, we couldn't be prouder. Thanks for joining us for part 1 of the 2022 Southern Iowa Nut Tour. And be sure to check out part 2, where we visit a recently planted chestnut farm and a state-of-the-art lumber mill, producing veneer logs for high-end furniture. See you soon!